Jai Gurudev, Jai Masters. One thing you learn as you grow on your path is that keeping things in perspective has a lot to do with it. I did prison work for many, many years in maximum security prison, and because your world is so small, every little thing bothers you. If their comb wasn't exactly where they thought they left it, they'd get upset. And anything, because that's your world, that's your perspective. You have to be careful where you leave your perspective. Say you have a car, you get a new car, and it gets a scratch on it. Well, you get upset. Even a little scratch. You may need a magnifying glass to find it, but you're going to get upset. If you keep perspective, you realize you've had cars before, and they get scratches, and who cares? When it's all said and done, you don't even pay attention to them. So you ruined your day, and you ruined your joy of your car by doing what the inmates do in prison. You made your world too small. This is my new car, and there's not supposed to be a single scratch on it. And who scratched it? Well, you do that with your entire life. And spirituality is about expanding your perspective so that you don't do that. How wide can you expand your perspectives? Well, you're married. Somebody comes home, and they don't be in a good mood. They just walk right by you, don't say hello, go in their room, because they're not doing well. Can you handle that? Or is that, no, I can't handle that. That's out of the question. You know how many people there are on the planet Earth? 8.3 billion. I tell you, they didn't say hello to you either. It's true. You narrowed your perspective down to one person with expectation about how they're supposed to behave, what they're supposed to be like, how they interact with you. That's the same as where's your comb placed. And you made your world so small that it bothers you all the time, doesn't it? Come on, be honest. It bothers you. You did that. You say, no, he did that. He didn't say hello when he came home. No. Okay? And you start to understand that you're ruining your life. And because you're ruining your life, by narrowing your perspective so much, now you have to go out and figure out how to get things to be the way they match your perspective. Because you can't handle it, you have to find out who scratched your car. Do they have cameras in the parking lot? I want to see you open their door and scratch my car. Well, have fun, because you won't. And when it's all said and done, it doesn't make one hoot of a difference, and it won't even matter to you. I know somebody who redecorated her kitchen. All right? The contractor asked, what color do you want the walls to be? And she said, white. Now, any of you who've ever decorated or done anything know there's about 600 whites. Come on, man. I don't know how they make all the names. There's a color chart for white. And she got into it. She repainted her kitchen 4 times before she accepted it. No, not exactly. Yeah, I guarantee you, within a month, that color makes no difference. Do you understand that? Have you been through that? Do you understand? But you created anxiety. You created problems for yourself because you narrowed your perspective down to what? Not the cell that my inmates live in, to the cell of your mind. You're locked in the cell of your mind. She walks in, look at the color, her mind says, no, that's not exactly what I want. You know what you should say to the mind? That's funny. Too bad. It's okay. It's okay. I'll be fine with it tomorrow. You have the right to do that. You don't have to leave your perspective narrowed down to the narrowness of your mind. Does your mind have preferences? When it all comes down to it, I realize more and more as I teach, what you all have trouble with is preferences. Not just you have trouble with preferences, you have trouble understanding what preferences are. You have trouble understanding what effect preferences have. I always go back to the Third Zen Patriarch, Treatise on Faith Mind, one of the deepest teachings ever written. And all you need is the first line. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. The great way, enlightenment, is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Well, the antithesis of that is all ways are very difficult for those who have preferences. Good, I'm glad you're silent. Why? Because you like your preferences, okay? You want to know why you like your preferences? Let's talk about it honestly. You like your preferences because when you get your preferences, you feel good. So therefore, you like your preferences. You're not stupid. If I get my preferences, I feel good. If I have something I really, really prefer, and I really, really get it, I'm really, really happy. I tell everybody, it's the happiest day of my life. Take a moment. That's one preference. You have a preference. Color, person, place, hello, event, whatever. There it is, your preference. There's only a very tiny piece of the universe that matches that preference. How much doesn't match? Everything else. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. All ways are very difficult for those who have preferences. Why? Because you just said that 700 trillion events could happen next, and only one will make you happy. Take a breath. That's what it means to honestly look at something. Here, oh, I just love you. You're talking to them. I just love you so much. I love you more than anyone I ever loved in my whole life. I can't even bear how much I love you. Yeah, I love you too. I told you he loved you. What's the matter? No. No, not. How about, yeah, I love you a lot also. No. Where does it have to be? Oh my God, I can't even bear how much I love you. Also, I'm the same. Okay, we're getting closer. It has to be exactly what you want. And I'm begging you, and I know we spend our lives trying to decide what we want and how to get it. And I told you why. Because it makes you feel good when you get it. Who doesn't want to feel good? It's not about getting your preference, it's about feeling good. It's just, I'm going to tell you a terrible thing. If there was a button, and there better not be, if there was a button and you could push it, and it made you feel the same as you feel when you get everything exactly the way you want, you're addicted to that button. You will stand there and push that button. Even rats do it in the cages. We test them. Stimulus response. They just push that button, man. Admit it. You want to feel good, don't you? That's what it's all about. I want to feel high. I want to feel good. I want to feel love. I want to feel inspiration. But what you've done is limited your ability to feel that to one tiny event. That's what your preference is. So when the great ones teach you, the great ones not difficult with those who have no preferences, which is very basic, very deep teaching, they're not telling you suppress your preferences. They're not telling you deny everything, be a renunciate, so that when you go to heaven, you'll get your preferences. That's not what's being told to you. What's being told to you is so logical that telling you if you have very narrow preferences, and you do, your mind is very, very picky. Go get your hair done. They say you're into hairdos. You see, I'm not. And you're into hairdos. All right? If you're into hairdos, get your hair done. And they take and you look in the mirror. Oh, no. You took too much off. How much? 1/16 of an inch. It doesn't match the picture. Here's the picture. Look, that's not the same. Take a breath. Hear what it means that the great way is not difficult for those that have no preferences. And understand what it means when you have preferences. It ruins your life. Your preferences are the bane of your existence. They ruin your life. They do not make your life. They ruin your life. Why? Because they're so narrow. Go on a date. Let's say I want to meet somebody. I want to meet the right person. Do you know what that person needs to be like? To be the right person? They do one single thing that doesn't match what you think you want. Nah. And by the way, if they do everything that matches what you want, and you get married, it's not going to stay that way. Is it? Raise your hand. I know you've only had one relationship in your life and it lasted forever, since you were 12. It can't work. You're doing the silliest thing in the world to sit there and say, I can only be happy and be inspired by my job, by my relationship. I can only be inspired and happy and feel love if every single thing is exactly the way I want it. And somehow, it's not. I don't know why. Somehow the events that unfold in front of me throughout my life have not always been exactly what I want. How about you? Have you realized that yet? Have you noticed? Well, you just pitted yourself. your happiness, your love, your inspiration against reality. You just said, I will only be, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. I should, because you never listen, all right? I can only feel love, I can only feel joy, inspiration, happiness. I can only feel that if the moment unfolding in front of me matches every single thing that's going on inside of me. If it matches my preferences. Do you understand you're saying that? And have you noticed that the moment unfolding in front of you does not match your preferences? All right, now let's take a moment. We'll go a little deeper. Why? Why can't it be the way I want? Perfectly reasonable question. You have a right to ask that question. When your child asks that question, I hope they're deep enough to hear the answer. Let's start this way. Where did you get your preferences? You got your preferences because of your past experiences. And whisper when I say that. You did not make them up. They were impressed upon you. You had an experience when you were young. They took your blankie away too soon. And your blankie was this very pale baby blue. You now either hate baby blue or love baby blue. You didn't decide. You got left there. Your parents got divorced. And it really hurt you very bad. You didn't like it at all. It had a major impression on you, right? Now you don't want to get married. You don't even know why. Why don't I get married? Because when you get married, you have children. And I'm not going to put my children through what I went through. You actually think like that. Not about that exact subject, but you hear me. Your preferences are based on your past experiences. Even psychology teaches that. Man is the sum of his learned experiences. That's not true. You are the consciousness that is aware that your mind and your heart and your preferences are the sum of your learned experiences. Are you aware, now that I mentioned it to you, that your preferences are based on your past experiences? If you had a really bad past experience, do you want it to happen again? If you have a really good experience, do you want it to never happen again? Okay, that's where you got programmed. You're programmed by the impressions that your interaction with life left upon you. Because we all react differently. Basically, events happen to you. They either make you feel good or bad. And then you either want them or don't want them to happen. And based upon that, then other events happen that seem like they're going to be the way you want, so you like them. It becomes that's why psychology is so complicated, because you're weird. All right? And by the way, no two of you are the same. When you think you met your soulmate, that's ridiculous. Why? Because you've all had different experiences, haven't you? And you all interacted with them differently. And they all left different impressions upon you. There is no one that has ever lived or ever will or is alive today that has the same preferences as you. It can't possibly be. So understand that your preferences are not yours. They're ghosts, the history of your past experiences. Take a job, love it. Have them give you a different task than you like. You don't like your job anymore. You want to start looking around. Take a job, like it, and get released, downsized. You're fired. Now get another job that you like. And all of a sudden, you find yourself sending your resume in all the time to different places. I got to keep my options open. Because you got fired from the previous job, you're afraid you're going to get fired from this job. And therefore you behave accordingly. All your behavior patterns, your entire personality, all that stuff you live with. You're not afraid of something you have never experienced. That it could be a movie, makes you afraid. It could be a book, makes you afraid. Somebody tells you something, makes you afraid. But if you never experience it, here, how afraid are you at? Blah, blah, blah. Not at all. All right? It's your past experiences that left impressions on you. I mean, it's so silly to talk about. It's so obvious, right? They left an impression. Okay, so that's who you are. That's not who you are. You're the consciousness living with that. All right. So basically, we now have laid the groundwork for where your preferences come from. How's that? Now let's see, how do we get in this conversation? You think that the moments unfolding in front of you should match your preferences. How do I know that? Because when they don't, you say they're wrong. You shouldn't have said that. That was wrong. That hurt me. You shouldn't have said that. I should have gotten that corner office. Don't blush now. Do you not say it's wrong when it's not what you want it to be? And you, oh my God, not only is it right, this was divine intervention. This moment was a gift from God. Why? It matched what I wanted. Oh, so God didn't do what you didn't want. So you wake up and you start here. That's what you're bringing to the moment, your preferences. Now let's talk about where the moment came from. It came from somewhere, didn't it? There's things in front of you. Now I'm going to say it once, and then we'll talk about it. They are the sum of their learned experiences. That's called physics, chemistry, science. Why is it raining? I don't want it to rain. Okay, there's your preference. It's raining because of El Nino and La Nina and because of the clouds in Spain. Every event outside, including other people, are the sum of their learned experiences. They're not the sum of your learned experiences, are they? There's a moment in front of you, the rain, the weather, the building, the car, the fact that everything. Is it the sum of your learned experiences or the sum of its learned experiences? That's cause and effect. Ever heard that? Cause and effect. Is not the moment in front of you the result of all the causes that cause it to be that way? And what do they have to do with your preferences? Nothing. You grew up over here, you had this mother. They didn't grow up over there. They didn't have that mother. They don't know anything about your mother. You sit there and say, why does it have to rain on my birthday? It doesn't know it's your birthday. I'm talking about preferences. Because you don't want it to rain and it's your birthday, there's something wrong with what life is doing. I don't think so. The rain is the result of all the forces that cause it to be that way. Your preferences are the result of all the forces that cause it to be that way. I swear, if you got this, just this little bit I'm teaching you, your life will change. Because you see how stupid your preferences are. They're the cause of your suffering. Yes, if they happen to match, you feel good. Why? Because you opened. You opened your heart. You opened your mind. You were receptive to the energy that came into you. And if they don't match, you're not receptive. You close. If we're having a loving moment and I do one thing or say one thing that doesn't match what you want me to say at that moment, and I guarantee you the probability is very high that that's going to happen. I don't know what you want me to do at that moment, but you think I should. When I was in early college years, I once had a girl say to me, if you really loved me, you'd know what I want. Well, that was a good starter. I'm sorry, I'm not psychic. I don't know. And I do love you. But I guess you don't believe I do, so that's that. You're laughing because you all do the same thing. You do believe that. If you love me, you would know what to say. You'd know what I want. You'd know what I like. And you would just know to do it. Now you see why I have so much trouble in life? Now you see why preferences are a problem, not a solution. They're a solution when it matches. But it doesn't match that often, does it? Okay? So basically you come down to understanding what is reality. Reality is your preferences, the sum of your learned experiences. Fine, I'm not denying that. That's what they are. And you're allowed to have those. You do have them. They're the sum of your learned experiences. The outer unfoldment of the world is not the sum of your learned experiences. If somebody asks, well, how come it won't be the way I want? Because it's not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be getting what you want. You're supposed to be enjoying what is. I see the difference between a worldly life and spiritual life. I just told it to you. You want to go play around with how to attract to yourself exactly what you want? How to manipulate the world that is the result of its learned experiences and say, no, you don't get to be the result of your learned experiences. Whatever you would naturally be, don't you dare rain when I don't want you to rain. Well, if the forces of nature would have rained, what happened to them? What changed? What about everybody else? What about the farmer that needed the rain? They won't talk to you this way, will they? And you won't listen to this. Why? Because you are happy when you get what you want. So now you see what preferences do. Now, the fact that your preferences are not the same as anybody else's is why we have war. Is why we have divorces. You say, why is the world the way it is? I just told you. All right, you know who else told you that? What's the guy's name? Oh, Buddha. What are the Four Noble Truths of Buddha? All of life is suffering. Doesn't mean you break your arm all the time. It means you ain't get what you want and you don't like it. If you don't think all life is suffering, are you not trying every moment of your life to get what you want and avoid what you don't want? Why? Because otherwise you suffer. But second noble truth, the cause of suffering is preference. Now, they normally translate preference as desire. Is not a preference a desire? Is not a desire a preference? The difference is, if I say desire, you think of lust, greed, You think of extreme. Of course that causes suffering. No, that's not what Buddha said. The cause of suffering is preference. The fact that you want things to be a certain way is why you suffer. The fact that you want things to not be a certain way, then you worry. You have anxiety. You have fear. You're doing this. This is what your preferences are doing. They are ruining your ability to enjoy life. Because you're saying life should be what I want. Then I can enjoy it. Well, life is not what you want, and I know you know that. I know you notice that. And so you struggle to try to make it be what you want. Why is there anxiety? Why is there tension? Why is there fear? What are you afraid of? That you'll get what you want? You're afraid that you get what you don't want. Why are you so stressed out? Because it won't be the way I want. If it's the way you want, are you stressed out? No, I'm happy. I'm daring to challenge you to whether preferences are a good thing or a complete mess. They ruin your life. And you think, I'm going to set my goals to get my preferences. And therefore, someday I'll be happy. When was the last time you got what you wanted and never wanted anything else? Why? Why, when I get something, do I want something right away else? Because it didn't make you okay. It temporarily satisfied an impression that you have, of which you have tons of them, of like and dislike, and the world is not going to unfold the way you want all the time. So the fact that it made you feel good, sometimes, by the way, when you get your preferences, it screws up your life. Why? Because I want it to happen again. I wanted to, just like that. It was such a neat experience. The first kiss, let's talk about that. First kiss can be really amazing. You know that. I mean, you're always attracted to this person, and then all of a sudden you didn't know they liked you, and you get that first kiss. Guess what? You will never, ever again have the first kiss from that person. But it was so special. It didn't feel the same the next time. Don't you love me as much? It can't. Don't you see how you're ruining your life? You're limiting your life to say it's only okay in this tiny little event. Instead of saying, I'm not supposed to be working to make the world match my preferences. Now I'll give you another life that you can't even imagine. What if you preferred everything to be exactly the way it is all the time? You'd be enlightened. That's what it means. That's nirvana. Why? There's nothing blocking you. It means that every single moment is the first kiss. It means that every single moment is a purification. It means that every single moment is just, wow, I can't believe that happened. That's exactly what I wanted. Why? Because I want everything to be the way it is. I told you once, when I gave a lecture similar to this years and years ago, they made a bumper sticker. I was making fun of the bumper stickers that said, I'd rather be sailing. Well, if you'd rather be sailing, you must not be very happy because you're driving a car. And so they made a bumper sticker, and they actually had it on the book table for a while. It said, I'd rather be doing what I'm doing. Everything we're talking about is daring you to look at the word preferences. So I don't want to teach you to have no preferences. I want to teach you to prefer everything the way it is. If a moment is unfolding in front of you, how can I prefer that moment? Why would I prefer that moment? Can we discuss that moment? I usually go in great detail. I can't go in great detail, right? Where did that moment come from? Where it talked about. Some of his learned experiences. The events, cause and effect. Well, where did that come from? Well, it's just physics. Well, what's physics? It's chemistry. What's chemistry? Well, it's atoms, molecules, manifesting and being there. Okay, where did they come from? The moment in front of you, is it not made of atoms? Is a building in front of you not made of atoms? Is a car made out of atoms? Is his body not made of atoms? Is every single moment in front of you not made of atoms? It is, isn't it? Okay, well, where'd they come from? Well, now we get very interesting. Well, atoms are electron, neutrons, or protons. Well, where'd they come from? We're talking about the moment in front of you. All right, where'd they come from? Well, they used to say that those were the particles that make up the atoms. Now they don't say that. They say, no. Those are quarks, leptons, and bosons. Those are part of quantum physics. Those are subatomic particles. That's what they're called. Quarks, leptons, bosons, whatever they are. You don't have to know about them. But they're made of something. Where'd they come from? Our scientists have gone so deep. We paid hundreds of billions of dollars over all the years, all the equipment, everything we've done, to sit there and say, no, they're not even there. Quarks, leptons, and bosons are not elemental particles. Well, what is? There's this field. It's called the quantum field. You should know this. There's a field of energy, and it behaves in a way that seems to behave like a quark boson, or they're not really there. Like magnetism is not really there. It's just a wave, a field of wave. And that's what everything is. That's what's in front of you, is a manifestation of the quantum field. Now, imagine letting your mind realize that what they have taught you is what the great masters taught you thousands of years ago. It's made of light. Don't they teach that? It's made of light. That's literally what they're saying. There's nothing. There's just waves of energies, and that's what's down there. In other words, nothing's down there, but it's manifesting magically up, molecule atoms, and they come together, covalent bonds, and come together as molecules, and come together, and there's your body. It's not even there. That's a frame of reference. Now you've expanded your frame of reference to use your brilliant mind instead of saying, oh mind, figure out what I want and how to get it. There you are, locked in a cage. Now you're locked in a cage that only very, very few things, like minuscule things, will make you happy. And that's why you're not happy. And you say, I'm not happy because the world's wrong. Take anything in the world and realize it's made of the quantum field. The rain, the hurricane, the tornado, it's just the quantum field manifesting up, and everything you're looking at is looking too much detail. You get a little caught. So what life is like to the great one, and you are great. Everyone, you're capable of this. I'm not talking about a muscle person or some brilliant genius, all right? You're capable of saying, okay, I got caught in my preferences. I'm caught. I'm totally caught in my mind. I'm caught in what my mind wants and what my heart wants. He said, about my heart? No, your heart is only open when you get what you want. And that is not very often. Can your heart be completely open and then somebody burp and it closes? I don't want to be around a burper. Hear me? The story I always tell you is, you're so much in love. See, your heart's very important. You love love. All right? Now, you don't love love. You love when your heart's open. Okay? And then you project onto somebody else. So now you project on this person. You're filled with love. You're hugging. It's this special magic moment. And when you feel love, you get sucked inside. You close your eyes. You don't have your eyes opened or all this stuff. But now you want to open your eyes. I always tell you this story. You want to open your eyes. I just want to see him or her. I just love so much. I'm melting into this beautiful love. And you open your eyes, and they're holding their cell phone behind your back. How's the love flowing? Why would you give away that beautiful experience? Who cares whether he's got the cell phone behind his back? I'm not trading love. You gave up what you said you wanted more than anything in your whole life. You just gave it up because you opened your eyes and it wasn't the way you wanted it to be. And you think that's rational? That's ridiculous. And now you find out that he was planning the honeymoon and he hadn't asked you yet, and he would just make sure that it beeps, and he just makes sure that everything's exactly right he's going to tell you. Now you do. Oh, the love came back. What? That's what your preferences do to you. So don't talk to me about your heart. Your heart is being run by your preferences. The opening and closing of your heart is being run by your preferences. Your mind is being run by your preferences. You're caught completely in the ghost of your past. And it's a silly place to be, and you do not have to be there. So how does one not be there? What's the moral of this story? Instead of working so hard to find out what you don't even know what you prefer. I'm serious. You sit there and you want to go on vacation. You go on the web. You look at all the pictures, this and that, all that kind of stuff. You're trying it on for size, just like you'd go in a dressing room, turn around one of the 16-sided mirrors. Is it hitting me right? In other words, what's it doing to your preferences? What are you doing when you put this outfit on and you stand on the stand and there's these 10-sided mirrors and you're turning around? You're trying to see how it hits you. How does it hit my preferences? I turn around, it makes me look a little fat. I don't want to look fat. Okay. Or somebody says, well, he likes heavier people. Whatever it is, it's just your preferences. And you turn a little bit, say, well, the hem's a little short. What are you doing in there? They're screwing around with some scars. They're called some scars. Impressions that got left on your psyche And now you're trying to see how they make you feel. It's called the ghosts of your past. That's what they are. They're trying to run your life. So first you try to decide what you want. Then you have to decide how to get it. And you're spending all your effort doing that. Spirituality says, okay, you got effort, you're going to use effort. Let's use it in a way that works. Use it to learn to like what's happening. Use it to learn to appreciate, respect, honor what's happening in front of you. It's raining. Yes, you have these impressions. I don't want it to rain. It rained on my birthday party when I was 6, and I never liked the rain ever since. I don't know what's wrong with you. I mean, us. Are we weird? Okay? Is it not true what we're talking about? This is psychology, isn't it? If you don't do this, if you don't hold on to those preferences, they're out of business. You don't need therapy. You don't need nothing. You're open. If you're open all the time, you're fine. But you keep closing because of your preferences. You limit them so much. So basically, what's wrong with saying, instead of working on making the moment in front of you be what matches my preferences, why don't I work on myself to appreciate and enjoy and respect the moment that's in front of me? If I do that, I win. If I work so hard to get one stupid preference that doesn't last, I didn't get anything. Let's say you have a bad experience in your past with a snake or with a person or with something. You have a bad experience. Even though it's not happening again, it's still bothering you. But will anybody listen to me? What are you doing in there? It's not working, is it? Well, sometimes it does. Yes, I know. If it's exactly what you want, but it never is, and it doesn't stay, and you know that. Okay? So like I said, have something that happens you don't like. I don't want it to happen again. Okay, it's not happening again. Well, it might as well be because you're afraid it will. And you worry about it. Do you see how much of your stuff going on in there is based on preferences? Well, we'll talk about how to work with this. But I want you once and for all understand they are not your friend. They are not your friend. Master once gave a lecture. He went on desire, my great enemy. Why? Because of what I'm telling you. Because you're only okay when you get exactly what you want. And it never happens, and it doesn't last. But you keep trying. You're like that hamster in the cage. I'll get there. Where you going, buddy? Run as fast as you want. Be as rich as you want. Be as beautiful as you want. Be as anything you want. It ain't going to happen. Because life did not get manifest based on where your preferences came from. Life doesn't even know about your preferences, and it shouldn't. Life was created way before you. Earth's been here for what? What was it? Oh, I forgot. 4.5 billion years? How long you been here? I'm just asking you to use your intellectual mind to expand your frame of reference. Isn't that what we're doing? As opposed to letting it get so narrowed and locked into the past impressions. So we talked about what is spirituality. Spirituality is getting quiet. You want to meditate, that's fine. Get quiet for a minute and realize you are wasting your life trying to make life match what you want. If that's your goal, boy, you're in trouble. Because it ain't going to happen, is it? You're wasting your life trying to find the perfect person that's just like what Kevin Costner looked like when he was... and he behaved like this, and a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. Take your dating sites, which I'm fun. I told you, when you walk out of here, just forget everything I said, all right? What do those dating sites do? Here's a multiple choice, 700 questions. How tall does she supposed to be? What color's the hair? How old? What's her mother like? Has she ever been to therapy? Did she like the therapy? Did it help her? Right. Or him? Go right down that list. What is it asking you? What are your preferences? What are your samskaras? How does each one of these questions hit you? Are they vegetarian or vegan? It has to match your diet, doesn't it? Why does this person exist? There's no such thing. Just fill that out in some of the lines. Yeah, that's me, man. And you find out they're 3 years old and they fill the thing out. So that's what you're doing with life, isn't it? You're trying to make it match your stuff. And it doesn't work, does it? Sometimes it does. I fell in love. Okay, let's see how long it lasts. Nothing wrong with love. I want you to fall in love. I don't want you to fall in love. I want you to be in love all the time. It's called unconditional happiness. Unconditional love. You talk about conditional happiness and conditional love. The conditions have to be exactly what you want for you to be happy. The conditions are exactly what you want for you to feel love. Okay, so what does one do? You take the effort you're using. There's effort. Self-effort's important. There's will. And you use it to look at the moment in front of you, and everything goes like this, okay? And you say, I don't want to be like that anymore. I want to be able to appreciate that the moment even exists. This is the moment the quantum field created. Oh my God. Or the other one I was talking to you about, I have a picture I keep on my phone, I bring it up all the time, is a picture of a star, not our star, but a picture of a star with a planet transiting the star. I've never seen something like that. Big burning thing, and there's this tiny dot, like a little ink dot, transiting the star. That is what we look like transiting our sun. That picture was almost exactly in proportion of our sun and our planet. I told you 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. So it's this tiny little dot circling a sun. Well, get that in perspective. What exactly did you not like what happened? The scratch on the car? That it's raining today? You're on a tiny little planet in the middle of nowheres. Wake up. And then if you dare to, remember there are hundreds of billions of those stars in your galaxy. And there's trillions of galaxies. What's bothering you? How did you get your head so lost that somebody says bothered you? That the scratch on the car bothered you? The color's not exactly what I want. Do you see what your preferences are doing now? It's amazing. It's an amazing planet. Go to Mars. There's nothing. Go to any planet. And that's just planets around this star. We've looked everywhere. There's not a single thing that we've seen you'd want to go to. There's just burning fires and supernovas and explosions and oh my God, Jupiter's really pretty. It's all gas. There's nothing to stand on it. And you have trees and roaches. And hundreds of millions of types of animals and insects and people and events and things to do. And all you do is complain. About what? It's not what I want. Do you see it? All of this is frame of reference. I like that frame of reference. The tiny little planet, the beautiful planet, spinning around one star. And it's the whole universe, but you don't pay any attention. When's the last time you thought about what I just talked about? It's your universe. It's where you live. It's reality. How dare you ignore reality? Like, if I teach you this, somebody says, well, what's it got to do with me? It has everything to do with you. You're born onto a tiny planet in the middle of this. Open up. All right. So how do we deal with this in reality? Because you do have these preferences. Let's get that straight. Let's not make believe we don't have them. We have preferences, and they are ruining your life. They are. Compared to the life that says, the moment unfolded in front of me, oh my God, I can't even believe it exists. I can manifest it out of the quantum field. It's got history behind it. It's on a tiny planet in the middle of nowhere. Anyone want to look at it other than me. I, me, mine. And you look at it and you realize, wow, it's raining. It's raining. What is rain? I don't know. How does a black forest get watered? There's no water around it. Pretty neat that we have trees, isn't it? Well, maybe rain has something to do with that. Maybe it's really a natural irrigation system. They go put sprinklers around. Maybe the whole system is built so perfect that the sun, the star, evaporates the water that has salt, but it leaves the salt behind. Evaporates it out till it's purified, and then it forms these clouds of vapor, and the wind blows them across hundreds of thousands of miles. And then the rain falls on the black forest or on this. And you don't like the rain, do you? At some point you wake up. Who am I to not like anything? It's just the amazing creation that exists here. So you start learning how, I don't want to teach you how not to have preferences. I want to teach you how to prefer everything, because that's the same. The great way is not difficult for those who prefer everything. Ecstasy, constant ecstasy and love are not difficult for those who love everything and are turned on by everything. That's your spiritual work. So don't worry about getting rid of your preferences. I want to add to your preferences. So people have a thing called a bucket list. You've heard of that. Everyone's heard of a bucket list. What's a bucket list? That which I've never done, which I hope I get to do before I die. Why do you hope you get to do it? Because I think it'll turn me on. How come there's nothing on that list that you've already done? Because it didn't work. Seriously, look at it. That must be what it is. You list all the things. I hope before I die I get married to the person I got married to. I hope, no. You think there's something missing. All right? So I want it to be where you understand there's nothing missing. Nothing even close to missing. Everything's so perfect. Everything is perfect. Look at me. Oh, I know your mind don't like that at all. Everything is perfect. Perfect. Not perfect based on what you want. Of course not. It's perfect based on the reality of all the forces that cause it to be the way it is. Now I'm going to repeat that. Everything is perfectly exactly what it should be and needs to be and must be based on all the forces that made it be that way. How's that for a statement? Can that be wrong? It can't be wrong, can it? It's like saying 1 = 1. All right? That's the perfection of life. That's the perfection of reality. But it is not the perfection based on what you want. And therefore you have all this friction. So don't get scared yet, all right, that everything's perfect. And everything's always been perfect. And everything will always be perfect. Not based on your judgment, not based on what you want, but based on reality. Everything is the result of reality. Is it not? Okay. So now how does one live like that? You start simple. And you sit there and say, why can't I enjoy that it's raining? I'd be happier if I enjoyed that it was raining, as opposed to not enjoying that it's raining. God, I hope you're listening to me. You're a rational person. Do you want to be happy? Well, if you're not happy because it's raining, then you're not happy. If you're happy because it's raining, then you're happy. These teachings become very simple. Seems silly to talk about it, doesn't it? Right? Well, then like the rain. How? I don't like it. You decided not to like it. Just tell yourself you like it. You told yourself you don't like it. Really, reprogram the thing. And so when it's raining and it's going, ew, ew, like I notice even with him, even with all his knowledge and all his spirituality, if he gets caught in the rain and has to walk in the rain, his shoulders go up like that. I didn't know they were an umbrella. I don't understand why that helps at all, right? But it goes like that, walking in the rain. That's adorable. So what do? When I catch him doing that, I say, put the shoulders down. And he puts the shoulders down. And all of a sudden, I'm not tense. Work with yourself. Don't let the way you are, which is not working, by the way, be the way you stay. You get to work with yourself. When you pick up a tennis racket you never played before, how good are you? Terrible. Sit down at a piano, you never touched an instrument in your life. How good are you? Terrible. Does that mean you can't learn? Does that mean you can't get better and enjoy playing the piano and enjoy playing tennis? Why is this not the same? Why can't you work with yourself and sit there and say, okay, I have trouble with the rain. I have trouble with people that are like this. Now we're getting real. I have trouble when somebody says this to me. I have trouble if I gained a pound. I have trouble if I lost a pound. I have trouble if I take one of those super magnified mirrors, the ones you turn over, and I see one little dark spot. Oh my God, I got a black head. Normal mirror doesn't show up, but it does there, right? Give me a break. Why can't you sit there and look at that and start working with yourself and saying, I'm going to sit down a little, that's why I teach you this. I'm sitting on a little planet, sitting in a little nowheres, holding a magnifying mirror 10,000 times and complaining about what I see. There's my inmate in prison locked into this little, you made your world that small, and of course it bothers you. Why are you doing that? And so you start working on, what do I teach? Acceptance, letting go, surrender. Surrender does not mean what you guys think I'm teaching. It doesn't mean you say yes to everything that happens to you in your life outside. Surrender means you let go of this garbage that you stored inside. You let go of your preferences. What do I do now with life? Right now, my preference is to run my life. That's why I'm inspired. That's why I have go do things. Why I get up in the morning. That's why I'm trying to earn money. I have preferences. They drive me. They do this. And I have fears. My fears guide my life. I make sure I don't go there. So you're now letting your life be run by these past impressions. You're like a marionette. Well, what's the alternative? Be in there, witness consciousness. Here I am. I'm aware. Here come the preferences. Here comes closed heart. Here comes open heart. Here comes, I see those preferences. And here's the tendency to go with them. There's a strong tendency to go away from what you don't like and go toward what you do like. Okay? So what do? Just let go. Relax. If you relax and don't go with it, you just liberated yourself to a degree. Now you're being you. You're the one who chose to relax. You didn't choose your preferences. They were sold to you. They got made upon you. Now all of a sudden, the consciousness, the self, you're starting to work from a deeper place within yourself that says, I don't want to be run by my past stuff. All right? So you are, and it's fine. Don't deny it. Please don't deny it. Don't have spiritual ego. Just start to work with yourself. So it's a little thing. It's raining. You're not going to stop the rain anyways. Why not enjoy it? So when you feel the tendency to have aversion toward it, relax. That's what you do. Inside, you relax. And what does it do? By definition, it makes you more comfortable. Just like yoga, you relax. You relax. And you can find over time that you got rid of that impression. It will fall away. Why? You just had a good experience with the rain. I enjoyed relaxing. It helped me. This goes very deep. This is deep spiritual teaching. I'm reprogramming this thing down here that's causing all the trouble. It's okay. You don't have to yell at it. You don't have to beat it up. The Gita says one should raise the self with self, not trample down the self. It's not about renouncing. It's not about hating. It's not about turning on yourself or anything like that. It's about, I'm conscious. I've now given you intellectually understandable reasons that your preferences are screwing up your life. Perfectly sensible. You don't have to believe anything. It's true. All right? But it doesn't mean to rip them away and throw them away. Just start to open up. So if something's disturbing you, small, start to enjoy it. Start to like it. First you start accepting it. Then you start liking it. Then you start loving it. Wouldn't it be nicer to love the rain than to not like it? God, please listen to me. You're not going to stop it anyways. So you just start to open. And the next thing you know, it's nice. And then the next thing you know, is it going to rain tomorrow? I don't know. What are you going to do if it rains? Enjoy it. What if it doesn't rain? I love it. You won. Right now, your temperature has to be, I mean, the weather outside, between 72 and 80. I'm happy with that. Otherwise, it's as too cold. Humidity, not under 50%. Right? Look at you. You just limited your happiness to the weather. What if you sit there and say, I love 98% humidity. My hair frizzes. Why can't you do that? You have the right to do that. Then all of a sudden, it doesn't matter what the weather is. It's going to be fun. I'm going to have fun. Are you willing to do that? Then what you're basically saying is, I prefer everything. I prefer whatever's going to happen. I prefer to be happy about it. Okay, now, how do you live your life? How do you go to business? How do you do marriage? How do you do things? You still got to make decisions how to do things. The difference now is you're making all your decisions based on what you want. I know it's embarrassing, but it's true. You're basing every single thing, every decision you make on what do I want? Well, what if you are fine with anything? Then I'm filled with inspiration. I'm filled with love. I can't wait to do whatever it is I'm going to get to do. You're going to be the best at every single thing you do because you enjoy doing it. You put your heart into it. You're turned on. So that's how you run your business. That's how you run your relationships. That's how you bring up your children. I'm going to be your child. You're going to read 15 books about how to bring up a child. And you got all these philosophies, and you're scared to death you can't do it right. You understand that? All right, so there's that parent trying to figure it out and getting upset. Oh, my God, what did you say? Why are you swearing? Why are my kids swearing? Why am I just a neurotic parent? Or I'm a parent. I'm filled with love. I love you. I understand you have your life to live. I'm here to guide you, to help you, and to shower you with love and inspiration and light all the time. It's that way with everything. People say that I teach there's no difference between the worldly life and the spiritual life. Of course there's no difference. You're coming in on a planet into this tiny little world and you get to play. Every day is play. Every day is play. What's politics? Play. But that's right, man. You have preferences. Okay, let's go. That's a tough one. I took a tough one. All right? What if I'm filled with love? What if I'm filled with joy? One of my frame of reference is so big that I know if this planet blew up, people yell at me for saying this, if this planet blew up, just boom, gone, a couple of other planets will change their orbit and nothing else in the universe could care less. You're circling one star, it won't be affected slightly. God, how do I expand your frame of reference to where you're not looking at me weird? The next closest star is 4.2 light years away. The next closest star. You're this little dot around this star, and the next closest star is 4.2 light years away. Doesn't mean anything to you, so I want it to. If I hold a beam of light above the planet Earth, and I let it go for 1 second, it circumnavigated the globe 7.5 times. That's the speed of light. Go that speed every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every year for 4.2 years. You'll get to the next star. There's 300 billion in your galaxy. What do you want to talk about politics? That's called expanding your frame of reference. All right, fine. Now what do? Now that you're free, you're clear, and you bring reality down to earth, now see what you can do to help. It's an interactive sport. Life is an interactive sport. You don't just say, well, it's so big, it doesn't matter. Of course it doesn't matter, but it doesn't mean you're not playing the game. Let me ask you a question. Any ever play a sport? Football, golf? Let's take golf. That's a wonderful sport, right? There's this little ball. You're trying to get into a hole. Pick it up and put it in. I don't understand. It doesn't matter. Like, how can it possibly matter? In a little planet, in the middle of nowhere, you pick a stupid hole in the middle of the planet, right? Because it's challenging. Because it brings out the best in you. It's called a sport. That's what a sport is. Of course it has no meaning. Of course there's no meaning. Go to an open field and take 100 yards and put yard markers at every 10 yards. And then say, if you take this ball and get it across this line, hooray! What, are you kidding me? There's nothing going on. It's meaningless. But it brings your Shakti. It's exciting. You try to be the best that you can. That's what you do here. You're just doing the best you can for no reason. Just because it's a sport. It's a challenge. It's fun. That's what your life is. Every minute of your life is a beautiful experience. It's a challenging, beautiful experience. There's no winning or losing. There's just playing. And so politics, fine. Of course, you look at it, you see what makes sense to you, and you put your energy into it. But you don't hate the other side. You don't kill them. That happens because you're lost and your preferences have screwed you up. And so you hate people and you lie and you do all kinds of stuff. That's what makes the world be the way it is. We can have different opinions. It's fine. It's wonderful. We're opposite football teams. We're challenging each other. Every great athlete will tell you their favorite game is the one that was close. And their favorite enemy is the one that challenges them to be the best that they can be. So now do you understand preferences? That was a big talk about preferences, wasn't it? I know you're going to walk right out there and do exactly what you want. Because they're strong. Because it feels good to get what you want, and it feels yicky to get what you don't want, and it feels yicky to not get what you want. You've got this little thing going. I've taught you liberation, what we talked about here today. That's pure spirituality. How to free yourself from yourself. Just start small, like the rain. Somebody says something you don't like it. You just relax it. Okay, that was fun. All right, I'll close with the beautiful saint, lady saint that gave us the Durga statue back in the 70s. That's her picture over there. Very saintly. Didn't talk a whole lot, right? Nothing personal, but we were very close. She once leaned over to me and said, Mickey? I said, yes, Mother. She says, don't you just love when they yell at you? There's so much energy. She channeled the energy. She went into ecstasy. All right. Thank you for listening. Jagradav.